had a baby just a couple weeks ago. So this is the first time I've done this over video. It's just a little bit different. You know, I've probably done 1,000, 1,200 of these hearings, but I've never done one over video. So just a little bit different. And I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. So I'll tell you what, the first one we're going to do is we're going to do the representatives from Price Hill Will, Mr. Kratz, Ms. Hastings. You guys are only here for the West 8th hearing, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, then I'm going to do that one first, so
Okay.
you guys can get out. So we don't take any more of your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, of course. All right, so we are going to start now. This is the July 20th, 2022 session of the Zoning Hearing Examiner docket. My name is Kevin Sid. I am the Zoning Hearing Examiner for the City of Cincinnati, and I will preside over this hearing. The case before us today is case number ZH20220099. The property in question is 4522 West 8th Street. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and opposing parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the Zoning Hearing Examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any opposing party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant, the applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. The public will have an opportunity to speak after the applicant has presented its case. If there is more than one person opposing an application, those persons should decide among themselves the length of time each will have to speak. Excuse me. If an opposition group is in attendance, I may request that a spokesperson be chosen to speak on behalf of the group. If the applicant is represented by an attorney, the applicant's attorney may cross-examine any person who has testified at the hearing. If a party of record is represented by an attorney, the attorney for the party of record may present witnesses after the applicant has presented its case and may cross-examine any person who has testified at the hearing. In the event that any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to an application, the applicant shall have an opportunity to rebut the testimony and or argument offered in opposition. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or to make any comments. I may also refuse to consider hearsay testimony or documents. This means evidence you want to introduce that consists of a statement made by a person who is not present at the hearing or a document that includes a statement of the person who is not at the hearing. All persons finding testimony will be sworn in now. I think the easiest way to do it is just swear everybody in, whether you intend to speak or not. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Sorry about that. I'm getting over a cold. I have a little bit of laryngitis, but I'm almost back. So this part's a little awkward. I do have to take attendance still. I think the easiest way to do it is everybody here together? My understanding is that it's the applicant and the owner. Is that correct? Is there anybody who's not part of the applicant or owner? There's not? Okay, well, let's do this first. Why don't we have the applicant introduce themselves first? I'll say your name and then will you just repeat it? That's all I need. So Ms. Chapman.
Here, Jennifer Chapman for the applicant.
All right. Ms. Fidel.
This is Tina Fideli with the applicant.
All right. Ms. Swenson.
Yes, I'm here with the applicant, just observing.
All right. And then we also have the person who's here via phone. Please state your name.
I'm not sure if they're aware that they're unmuted. They might have to unmute themselves. And there you go.
Yep. This is Chris Napek. I'm with the applicant for SMJ.
All right, great. Now I know my understanding is we also have two members of Price Hill Will here who own the property. Ms. Hastings, please identify yourself.
Yes, I'm here with the owner. Thanks.
Oh, what's your name?
Oh, Rachel Hastings. Sorry.
Mr. Kratz?
Jay Kratz. I'm here as the owner.
Perfect. Yeah, sorry about that. It's always a little bit awkward. When we're in person, it's not as bad, but there are advantages to doing things this way and there are disadvantages. That's one of the disadvantages. All right, well, who's going to speak for the applicant today?
I'll speak for the applicant.
All right, why don't you tell me a little bit about your project?
Okay, so this is an eligible facility request to modify an existing support structure pursuant to section 6409A of the Middle Class Tax Relief and Job Creation Act of 2012 and the rules of the Federal Communication Commission. This is an existing 124-foot tower and has been there since at least 2006. And it's approximately 150 feet from the nearest residential structure. The existing base area has a chain link fence around it, but there's no screening and it's visible from all sides to the public. The existing area is residential and commercial, and it has a mix of both. And per section 1409-7 for the CC-P zone, a proposed expansion of a telecommunication tower requires a conditional use permit. And this proposed use is appropriately located, designed, and configured. Dish Wireless proposes to install antennas on a new mount that's 107 feet above the ground, antenna equipment on the ground, and which will all be inside the existing compound, which is 30 by 30 feet. And their new platform will be a 5-foot by 7-foot platform. And all the work is inside the existing base area that's already existing inside the chain link fence. The height of the tower is not going to be increased, and the new equipment is going to be located in the base area. And based on the staff report, the only potential issue that the staff found was with the aesthetics, which is because the existing base area is not screened. And Dish Wireless agrees to put slots in the fence, the existing fence, or fabric.
So Ms. Chapman, you agree to that condition?
Yes.
Okay. Why is it important to upgrade the facilities here? Why is it important to add this equipment?
So Dish Wireless currently they're not on this tower already. So they're expanding so that people can have more service just because of, increased usage of smartphones and even Wi-Fi in your home. So that's why they want to add this service to this location.
So it increases capacity. Will it also just improve service for all your customers who are, a lot of which are residents of the city of Cincinnati?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
No, I actually don't have any more questions for you.
Okay.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before I open it up?
No, huh?
Okay. I do know the owners here with Price of Will. I don't know if you want to say anything, you don't have to, but you're here, so I'm going to open it up to you if you'd like to.
I would like to say something.
Sure.
Price of Will purchased this property in partnership with the city. There were some blighted buildings on the property. There was a lot of criminal activity. We partnered with the city to tear those down. This purchase happened before my time. But the previous owner of the property who we purchased this from signed a perpetual easement with Crown Castle for the cell phone tower, which we have now inherited. I'm happy to hear that Crown Castle and Dish will be doing some sort of screening around the fencing because it is very unattractive. But I can tell you folks in the West Price Hill neighborhood are very unhappy about the cell phone tower because it's very tall, and I believe it is closer than 150 feet to the closest resident. We are actively trying, we have a group of residents that we're working with to try to create a plan for beautification of the rest of the lot, keeping the easements and access and everything for Crown Castle. But that process is just beginning now, and once we have some ideas for that, we will be reaching out to Crown Castle. And I'm, to be honest, like a little disappointed that Crown Castle did not reach out to us about this plan. I have not seen the site plan or the drawings of the heights of the towers. And in fact, we just found out about this 2 days ago from the postcard from the city. So
Ms. Hastings, just as one point of clarification, this isn't a new tower. It's just equipment on the existing tower.
Well, but I think, did Ms. Chapman say that there was another 107-foot tower that was going to be erected?
No, that's where the mount's going to be on the existing tower.
Okay.
No, there's no new tower.
It'd be helpful to see a drawing or something.
Ms. Chapman, I'll let you speak after.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, continue, Ms. Hastings.
Just again, because those of us in the community development world are not as familiar with cell phone technology terminology. It's a little hard for us to decipher all that. And, I can tell you, again, residents are already displeased about this tower, which I'm sure you all know. I'm sure there's, you have towers all across the country where folks don't like them so close to their business districts and residents. But folks are going to be asking more questions, and it would be helpful to know the full plan here. It would also be helpful for us to know the timeline of when this would, assuming this gets approved, when it would get installed.
Thank you, Ms. Hastings. Mr. Kratz, is there anything you would like to add?
No, I think Rachel covered it. We have been hearing for years since this project, since we took on this lot and had a building demolished on it. We've heard the commentary that Rachel explained, and it's awkward for us, being the Community Development Corporation for the neighborhood, to have to explain something that we really don't know very much about, and we've had very little cooperation, if any, and communication from Crown Castle. So it would be really helpful for us to see, if not a drawing, a photo, something to show us what this is going to look like, so that we can share it with people in the neighborhood and they're not shocked when they see it.
So at this point, I'm going to turn this back to the applicant. Now, Ms. Chapman, they can't, Mr. Kratz and Ms. Hastings can't directly ask you questions, but I can.
Okay.
So what I want you to do is, I heard what they said. I want you to explain. I've seen a lot of these. I know what you're doing, but will you please, in detail describe what this project is, what you're actually going to do?
Sure. And as far as the timeline, it's as soon as we get approval, Dish is ready their contractor's ready to do the installation.
But
And
I think what I'm most worried about is, so I know there's an existing tower. What are you actually doing to the tower to improve it? Please describe just so they know.
So the work on the tower is, so the existing tower is 124 feet. And so at the level of 107 feet on that tower, they put a mount up, which allows them to attach their antennas and equipment. So that's just going to be, it's below the existing antennas. So if you look up at the tower, you'll see existing antennas that will be above Dish's antennas.
So what you're describing is like the platform that you see when you look. So it looks almost like a small balcony, a very small balcony, right? You see those when you see those tall towers. You're adding one of those, correct?
We're adding that. Then that's why we have to do the conditional use, because we're putting a new mount on the tower.
But are you making the tower taller?
No.
Okay. Please describe everything else you plan to do.
Right. So, okay. So that's the work on the towers. And then on the ground, inside the existing fence compound, that they'll add a 5 foot by 7 foot concrete pad. And then Dish will put their equipment on that pad. And then they'll run, it's called an ice bridge, which is, you'll see, it looks like it goes to the tower. It's a metal, but that's already there. So they're just attaching to that will connect the equipment on the pad to the tower. So they're really inside the fenced area. It's just a 5 foot by 7 foot pad for Dish to add their equipment.
So what is a Dish agreeing to do? You're going to screen that new equipment on the ground, correct?
Well, so the screening would be.
You're agreeing to it, but I will tell you candidly that that's going to be a condition. If I were to approve this, it'll be a condition if I do.
Okay. Yeah. They would put, they can put slats in the fence because the fence is already there. So they can so then you can't see what's inside the compound, or they could do a fabric. As far as the screening on the existing fence.
Okay. So just to kind of sum up what you said, there'll be a new equipment on the ground, but that, if it's approved, it will likely be screened from view from the street.
From the street.
Neighbors. Then you're also going to put you want to put a platform on the tower itself, but the tower itself is not getting any taller.
Right.
Okay. Shabbat, is there anything else you'd like to say before I close out the hearing today?
No.
Okay. At this point, I'm going to close out the hearing. A decision will be released within 2 weeks. The hearing is over now, but this is directed to Mr. Kratz and Ms. Hastings. We do have drawings of this. So if you ever want to see it, I don't know, are you guys in project docs? You know what I'm saying when I say project docs?
Yes.
Well, I know
Oh.
you do, Ms. Chapman.
Oh,
But I
sorry.
didn't mean quite so well. So Bristol Will is, I mean, they're a big community organization. So, you know, I have not, like I said, I have not been in this, like I haven't been in this position for a couple of years. So, you know, faces change, people change, you know, organizational structures change. So I didn't know if you were aware, you can always ask us to join the project docs file. And when you do, you can see all the plans that are there, and you can see like letters that may have been written in support or against, and just the application itself. So I just want to make sure you guys are aware of that, because I mean, again, you guys are a major, you know,
Thank you.
community organization.
David Sturkey from the zoning department sent me a link to the project docs yesterday, but I couldn't access it because I guess I don't have the proper login and password. So we'll need help with that so we can get into it.
If you ever have that problem again, you know, contact David or Cassandra Mance, who's on it right now. Just call our office. I'm not actually in that office. Like I said, I'm filling in today, but I just want to make sure going forward that you guys have the ability.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Well, hey, thank you all.
Thank you.
A decision will be released within 2 weeks.
Okay, thanks.
Have a good day.
Thanks.
Bye. Congratulations, you all passed my test. I'm back.
Okay.
We're going to pretend like I didn't, you know, I realized there was a second hearing right after this with the exact same people almost. All right, this is what we're going to do. I'm just going to start. Cassandra, there's no one new to add to this hearing. Okay, unfortunately, I do have to read the script again and go through the rules, but we'll go from there. All right, this is the July 20th, 2022 session of the zoning hearing examiner docket. My name is Kevin Tidd. I'm the zoning hearing examiner for the city of Cincinnati. I will preside over this hearing. The case before us today is case number ZH20220100. Property in question is 949 Laidlaw Avenue. Purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and opposing parties to testify and to offer and impute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code, the supplemental rules of the zoning hearing examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any opposing party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant, the applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. The public will have an opportunity to speak after the applicant has presented its case. If there's more than one person opposing an application, those persons should decide among themselves the length of time each will have to speak. If an opposition group is in attendance, I may request that a spokesperson be chosen to speak on behalf of the group. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or make any comments. I may also refuse to consider hearsay testimony or documents. This means evidence you want to introduce that consists of a statement made by a person who is not present at this hearing, or a document that includes a statement of a person who's not at the hearing. All persons providing testimony will be sworn in now. I think the easiest way to do it is just swear everybody in, whether you plan to speak or not. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Yes.
All right, we still have to take attendance for this hearing. So what I would like everybody to do when I say your name, just repeat your name for the record. Ms. Chapman,
Jennifer Chapman.
Ms. Swenson,
Kristen Swenson,
Tina Fidel,
Tina Fidelli.
Fidelli, And then the phone, whoever's on the phone.
Chris Napeck.
I'm sorry, what?
Chris Napeck.
All right, who's going to start off for us today?
I'll start.
All right, why don't you tell me a little bit about your project?
So this project is an eligible facility request to modify an existing support structure pursuant to section 6409A of the Middle Class Tax Act Relief and Job Creation Act of 2012, the Spectrum Act, and the rules of the Federal Communication Commission. This is an existing 156-foot tower that's been on the site since at least 2006, and it's approximately 1,000 feet from the nearest residential structure. It's the size of the base area is 54 by 35 feet, and it is it's not visible. The compound is not visible from the street because of a hill along along Laidlaw, and then the rear of the property is railroad tracks. So so you can't see the compound right now from the street. And as far as this is a permitted use according to 1413-05. It's currently zoned manufacturing general, and a proposed telecommunication or tower structure is one of the permitted uses. The proposed use is appropriately located, designed, and configured, and DISH proposes to install antennas and antenna equipment on the existing tower and a 5-foot by 7-foot platform in the existing base area. They're not going to increase the height of the tower or work outside of the existing compound. Let's see, there were no adverse effects listed in the staff report. And since it's already screened from the public, that's not an issue at this site.
Why is it important, Ms. Chapman?
This is important because Dish Wireless is currently not serving this area because they're not currently on this tower. And so they want to be able to serve the residents in this area. So they want to locate on this tower and add their equipment. It's going to be, their mount will be at 126 feet. So it's below the existing antennas that are already on the tower.
No, I don't have any more questions for you. Is there anything else you'd like to say before I close out the hearing today?
No.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming. A decision will be released within 2 weeks.
Okay. Thank you.